Welcome to the LFG Pats Pod with your hosts, Joe and Mike. Let's go!
All right, welcome into the LFG Pats Pod. This is episode 23. Can you believe it, Mike? Time's been flying here. We're in the regular season.
Time flies when you have
and it's
fun,
going
baby.
just the way we thought it would.
Was this the episode 23? That's the Patrick Chung. I would have done some bumps before the pod if I knew what number it was.
Or you would have dunked it, right? Like you'd done the free throw dunk. Anyways. So we have a great podcast right now. We have Fitzy from WEEI. Great guy, great friend of the pod. Love his show, 6RingsPod podcast. It's amazing.
It's always great to have you in the chat, Mike. Nice to meet you, Brett. I apologize for nothing.
And we have Brett from TheListFinsPod. So Brett was just telling us about how he became a Dolphins fan, and I don't know if I feel better or worse or what, but Brett, you chose, I guess, the right team for you.
Wait, can I guess your parents were Jets fans and they went to conversion therapy and then had you?
No, but my parents absolutely did need a lot of therapy, but that's a different story. They're happily divorced for over 30 years.
That's for another podcast.
That's for another podcast.
Oh, this just got real. Let me lay down on the sofa and grab my yellow pad.
Yeah, it's probably cheaper than actual therapy. But no, my family's all from Pittsburgh and they're Steeler fans. And as I was telling them, my dad pulled out a catalog and said, "I'll buy you your first sports jersey." He pulled it out, said, "You can get whatever you want." And I like the Dolphins colors, and I've been hooked ever since, for better or for worse, mostly for worse. But like I said, like I told them earlier, I live off of energy drinks and nicotine pouches anymore, and the occasional rum and Coke too. And you kind of need this to support this team sometimes.
Wow, that sounds like my Friday morning in South Beach when I land for the weekend to go see a Pats game.
You got to get the pregame going, baby.
No kidding. Wow, dude. So wait, so that's funny. So like your dad basically pulled out the Sears catalog or an NFL shop catalog and said, you don't have to be a Yinsberger, and I wouldn't, you don't have to be geographically aligned with whatever you want. You can choose your own. And it's funny because, growing up in the 90s and the 80s, I know I don't look as old as I am. Thanks, guys. These
not a day
guys,
under 60, I'll tell you.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? If you cut me, you can carbon date me by the century. But the whole thing back in the 80s and the early 90s was the Pats were so bad. Yeah, the goddamn games on TV were just like the fans. They were blacked out. So we couldn't watch half of the games, let alone if you would watch the games, they were miserable. So New England has a sneaky amount of longtime Giants fans, Dolphins fans, 49ers fans, Washington football club team, Redskin Commander fans, because you had to pick like an alternate NFC team or just something to root for that was decent.
That didn't suck.
That didn't just absolutely blow massive chunks. And then there's also a lot of expatriated people throughout. So it's not like New England is unfamiliar with, Doll fans, if you will. It's just that you guys suck.
Yeah. And I was telling them beforehand, like, you guys have me conflicted too, because growing up, you learn to hate the Patriots, especially when y'all are the class of everything for 20 years. But I'm a big Michigan fan. I can say that because my best friend and producer isn't here. So he's not going to give me crap for talking about Michigan like he does every single show. But you have Tom Brady, and Tom Brady had Tom Brady for so long, and it was conflicting to root against Tom for so long.
Brett, it's going to be a shame to eviscerate you over the course of the pod and watch your team lose on Sunday, but I think we can meet in the middle at Go Blue, because Michigan, I didn't go to school in Michigan. I married into a Michigan family. I love it. I was almost as erect as the Tom Brady statue watching J.J. McCarthy score those 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter Monday night. That was awesome. That was that was something special. And you know what, boys, I'll tell you this. That's the one thing that I feel like, if we're just going to get into Pat stuff now, that's the one thing that I want to see from Drake May. Tua is emotional at times when he's awake and not throwing to the other team. And I haven't seen that. No, don't do it. Let everyone think it's theater of the mind, kid. It's a podcast. That's the one thing I'm not seeing from Drake May. I know that's not the cut of his jib. That's not his normal manner of being, but like, That was JJ McCarthy, how fired up that kid got Monday night, and then in the locker room with Kevin O'Connell. Like I was ready to run through the brick wall like Kool-Aid. I was ready to like eat a bat on stage like Ozzy Osbourne afterward. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So now is it the
ever.
narrative? It's the narrative that we should have taken JJ because of that one performance there.
Tom Cotton, why?
And everybody's comparing JJ to Drake. What do you think about that, Fitzy? Does that comparison hold water?
Well, you should never. I'm a run your own race type of guy because mine tend to be pretty slow and I stop for a beer every quarter mile. But, I don't like comparing other people to like our big thing on the radio this week. And I think that what Pats fans should generally adopt is just let Drake cook, let Drake be. Don't try to make him. We can say that he's like Ocean State Job Lot or Dollar Store Josh Allen right now. And we hope that he becomes the new sort of like prototypical hyper athletic quarterback just wearing a Pats uniform that kind of, on November 13th looks like a North Carolina uniform that was in the wash with some red clothes. But like, let him be who he is. Right. This whole Josh and, Mike McDaniel did a great job with Tua, who was kind of broken under Brian Flores, and we love B-Flow in New England. Malcolm, go. But like he did a great job just like adjusting his offense to him. He realized he's not a big downfield passer, doesn't have the strongest arm. He's kind of like a Hawaiian Rajon Rondo, like a point guard. He's a ball distributor, and he surrounded him with all of these fleet of foot guys from Mostert when he was there, Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Right now, this marriage between Josh McDaniels, Mike Vrabel, and Drake, especially between Josh and Drake, is fascinating. Because I feel like they all swiped right on each other on the app, right? But there wasn't this kind of chemistry that they all expected on the first date, but they're still going to have a second date. It's like when a friend tells you like, dude, you got to watch this show. It's on HB Hulu stick flicks. Like, oh, okay, cool. And then you watch the first episode and you're like, that kind of sucked. But I love my friend and he's usually got good taste. So I'll go back and watch another episode. And you're going to have to stick this one out for a while, guys, because it's a whole process. Don't judge Drake by JJ. Josh right now is trying. He's his fourth offensive coordinator in 4 years. He's trying to teach Drake May advanced Spanish. And meanwhile, Drake, who recently has come out of like Latin and German and French, is now in Spanish. And he's like, yo soy biblioteca. Like, let's just take it easy. Give him some time to let him be who he is, which is kind of less of a precise pocket passer, Tom Brady audible style, and more of a just like a tall Carolina barbecue sauce version of Brett Favre.
And I think the thing that's tough, if you want to go on the rom-com analogy, this first episode ended with a awkward ass out hug / someone tried to kiss, and this is where I think we're all left with that cliffhanger of what did we just watch? What just happened, right? And so for me, there's a lot of things that I want to see, Fitzy. What do you want to see in this game? And then Brett, we'll get to you about your takes on the Dolphins as well.
I want to see them open in tempo. I want to see the Patriots. I don't want to see the Patriots. I felt like even though Drake threw 46 passes and the Pats ran, I think, more plays than the Raiders did. Sorry, the Raiders. Disgusting. Tom Brady's Raiders. Gross. Whatever it is you think you've seen in this lifetime, Brett, that's disgusting. And that includes watching the Patriots have 6 trophies. It's not as gross as watching Tom Brady walk into the Raiders facility and put on that goddamn Al Davis satin white jacket. Visual epicac. Whatever you're drinking, I'd rather pour it through my eyes. But like, I want to see Sunday. I want to watch them open in tempo. I want to see that they let like just basically let Drake cook. Like let him move around the pocket. A little more digs. I think we need to see some more Kyle Williams. If you're gonna have to stretch the field, the more you like, look what the Raiders did. Oh, gee whiz, is that Travion going out into space? The guy that was so good on wheel routes and bubble screens in the preseason. They had those wrapped up. Those were covered and smothered like hash browns at the Waffle House. They were all boxed up like your freaking Amazon Prime subscription order. Done. Like you can't be so predictable. So make it more unpredictable. Bring in the Chiseler. Let's see Efton Chisholm, the living legend out there. Like, let's see discount Danny Amendola. You got to get this offense needs a little dynamics because otherwise even though the freaking Dolphins gave up 33 points to Danny Dimes on Sunday, which is, I mean, you guys made Daniel Jones look like Peyton Manning. That's like making freaking Steve Buscemi look like Brad Pitt. That's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, just keep taking that knife and putting it right in the heart.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, brother. That was I mean, they didn't punt. It's like there's a bunch of like 2003 and 4 teams that are like, yeah, we remember when the other Manning did it, not free.
Yeah, when's the last time the Colts scored on every single possession?
That's the
gotta be
first time
Manning.
any
It's
NFL
gotta be
team
Manning era.
has ever done it. They said it's like the first time ever that a team's done it.
Yeah. So I just want to see them play freer and more confidence. We had a great interview the other day with every Tuesday we get Mark Schlereth, the old offensive lineman from the Broncos. He calls in and does a great job from his Stinkin' Truth podcast. And he said when he saw Drake May playing the other day, he looked like he was watching somebody always thinking and not playing. Yes. And he said if you're playing without anticipation, that is the pathway to anxiety. And that's exactly where Drake is right now. And that is exactly the headspace they need to get him out of this week. They need to just this is a classic case. And I know no economy of words, obviously, but less is more. So that's what I want to see. Play with tempo, play with confidence, play with speed, and play with anticipation.
I agree. Now, so do you think Josh McDaniels is putting too much on his plate? And he has to think about this huge, complex playbook instead of just gripping it and ripping it?
Or the opposite side to that is, are they putting kids' gloves on him and he wants to kind of do other things and they're holding him back? I don't know which one it is, but either way, it feels like you said, more design shots downfield, more design plays to key players. Efton Chisholm, you just get him on some screen routes, get him going, get some easy passes, coordinated passes where you have 1 or 2 reads and then start to open the playbook up. I don't know. To me, it just feels like I don't know if it's him or if it's Josh McDaniels. I can't really put my finger on it.
Yeah, it's probably, this is probably a classic case of 2 things can be true at once. Right. You got to stretch the field out. That's why you spent a 3rd round pick on Kyle Williams. That's why, Mac Hollins, the classic case of Office Space, like, what would you say you do here, Mac? They're going to have to spread the ball around. Everything can't just be 10 to Hunter over the middle, 5 yards out. I mean, the greatest case of proving the point of, you threw 46 times for 280 yards, but it really didn't feel like it counted for shit, was the fact that Pop Douglas caught the only touchdown pass and he finished with -2 receiving yards on the day. I mean,
2 catches, -2 yards.
He's on pace for, I think, 17 touctouchdowns and
negative 34 yards receiving, which would be Hall of Fame worthy indeed. So, I think they need to go. Mike, my feeling is put a little less on his plate. Like, he doesn't need a full square meal. Let him just the way we all learned how to feed from pandemic on. When you're hungry, eat. So let Drake feed accordingly as he chooses to on Sunday. And then he and Josh can continue to grow. And last note is, don't anyone pass judgment on the McDaniels offense 3.0 or Drake May in his sophomore season. He hasn't even finished a full rookie year. He's only 12 games in.
I agree. This is his rookie year.
Wait till it's rookie 0.5. Wait till Halloween till you start passing judgment. Give him a half season. Then we'll see where everything is. But as far as Sunday goes, quick passes, up tempo. Get him in rhythm, then let him take some shots downfield against not Jalen Ramsey, and we'll see what's up.
Now, Brett, so we had talked about this a little bit in the waiting room here. Tell me about
crack one, Fitzy. Crack one for us too.
Tua had a pretty clean pocket on Sunday. Yeah. Tell me what you expect. Tell me what do you expect this week to see out of Tua and that offense?
Yeah, so just what we were talking about beforehand. If you see the Dolphins do that bad, and what has traditionally been the issue is if Tua has a game like that, he's getting pressured nonstop. He's running for his life. That didn't happen. He had the second least amount of pressures in the NFL, like in terms of percentage and throws. So he had a clean pocket. I heard Xavier Howard say they clogged the middle, made him go to his second read. There are a lot of plays. The first interception, Tyreek Hill was wide open. Tua skied it. Second interception, we had a clean read right in front of Tua that would have got a first down. He tries to force it down the field. So he didn't see it. There was a 4th down play when it was still 20-0, where Waddle was wide open down the middle of the field. Didn't even see it. So for Tua, I know what he can do. He gets a blank slate. He gets a chance. But the one criticism I've always had of Tua is you talk about how he's a point guard, which is true, but he has a gunslinger mentality, always has. And something I've said multiple times on our podcast is when things get behind, there's no such thing as a 7 point, well, there's a 7 point, but like a 14-point play, 17-point play. You gotta take what's given to you. And that is something Tua has always struggled with. All of his injuries, even going back to Bama, is because he just wouldn't let plays die. He wants to get the big play. So, and something
is that why he gets hurt all the time?
Oh yeah, like go back to his hip injury in Bama. Play was dead, and he was scrambling for like 20 seconds, and he took a bad sack. Last year's concussion, he scrambled and got hit in the head, scrambling for a first down. His hip injury again against San Francisco, I think, he scrambled, got a first, but again, he doesn't go for the safe play, and that's just his mindset. I respect that because he wants to win, but you can't do it all at once, and he's got to realize the Dolphins won 2 games with a backup since Tua has been in the last 3 years under McDaniels. One against with Skylar Thompson, and one last year with Snoop Huntley. Maybe there's a couple more, but it's still bad. We need Tua to win. So he's got to be smarter, and that goes to something with Mike McDaniel, excuse me. So McDaniel comes from the Shanahan system, and we all grew up during Shanahan's time in Denver. What were his teams known for?
The zone run, the Alex Gibbs zone runs, where guys like Ontario Smith and Mike Davis could get 1,200 yards before they even got to week 12.
Yep. But you see that San Francisco. You see that LA with Mike McVay. You see that in Green Bay with Matt LaFleur. Where Mike McDaniel was a run game coordinator before he became our head coach, and he actually does scheme some good runs, but we abandoned the run. And the thing I have said for the longest time, for this team to take the next step, we need to commit to the run. Devin Achane is a pretty good running back. He's probably one of only 2 good players from this past weekend. Maybe 3.
But he's not a workhorse.
But he's not a workhorse.
Right.
You also have Ollie Gordon, who is a 6th-round pick. But again, this system has proven throughout history, you can get a top running back anywhere as long as they can make one cut and go. Mm-hmm. So I want to see us commit to the run. I want to see Tua get easy throws. And that's another thing. Like everybody sees the big plays. The issue is, and this goes to Mike and Tua, they fall in love with the big play. And they forget about the stuff in the middle. They forget about the short stuff. Now, we probably do have the worst tight end room in the NFL. I will fully admit that. I've been screaming for a tight end for 3 drafts now, and we still don't have one.
Yeah, where did you guys send? Where did Jonnu Smith go? What, up to Pittsburgh with Arthur Smith?
Yep.
Oh, that'll be fun. Oh, that's both the Jonnu Smith and Jabril Peppers revenge game. That's going to be awesome.
I'm not excited about that.
No, not at all.
Jabril Peppers is going to light somebody up in that game.
Jabril Peppers is going to leave a burnt shadow of a human being on the field at Gillette. He is going to be so tuned up. But anyway, week 2. Sorry.
Yep, no problem. But yeah, I just want to see him simplify the play a little bit and realize you don't need to fall in love with the big play. It was fun. It's been fun. A lot of people are sick of Mike McDaniel and Dolphins Nation, whatever you want to call our fan base, Finland, whatever. I don't care what you call us. But I just want to see him commit to the run and go to try and be more physical, because that does take pressure off of Tua, and that will open stuff down the field. The Colts were daring Miami to run, and we didn't do it.
Same thing with us. Honestly, we gave up on the run very fast, and it just felt like premature. First of all, we had the wrong personnel in for running back,
according to you.
Well, I don't know.
He hates Ramondre.
They picked it up on the national media too. I'm not a fan of Mondre. I don't think he's better than Gibson, and obviously he's not better than Travion Henderson. So what are we doing out here? Why is he even in on 3rd down? I don't understand it. So
yeah, 3rd down is Gibson and Travion territory for sure.
Exactly. Don't even have him out there.
Right, because of their elite speed. They can hit it between the tackles as well. Travion also just got engaged last night, so he's obviously going to be looking to make a nice impression on the future in-laws on Sunday. So maybe a touchdown would make a great wedding gift. It's almost like, I'm not sure why the Dolphins played as disjointed as they did, but they had a bad offseason. Tyreek has been a headache. The roster's kind of fallen apart. There are confidence and faith issues in the man that I call the vaped crusader. Some people call, Tommy Tracksuit there with Mike McDaniel. He could be first coach fired this year if things continue to go downhill for the Dolphins. But like for the Patriots, everybody forgets they had such a great draft. Oh my God, they spent $200 million in free agency. This team should be awesome. They got everything. They're still kind of getting to know each other. And Vrabel cut a bunch of guys that
Vrabel
made the initial 15-3, gutted the roster. It is more than half turned over at this point now. They're living out of one bedroom on the first floor. They decided not to redo while the kitchen's been ripped apart. They're getting DoorDash every night. There's barely, you're stealing Wi-Fi from the neighbors, and everyone in Pat's Nation is trying to pick, fancy artwork, flat screens, and things to hang all over the house. And we're like, hey, can we just get a freaking toilet and a floor, guys? This rebuild is going to take time. Everyone's got to chill out. 8 wins this season would be great.
Yep.
Reestablishing the fundamentals. I'm sure you would love to see the fundamentals, Brett, reestablished against the Pats. We just want to see them established, period, for the Patriots.
Yeah. So, Fitzy, is that what you would call an 8-win team this season for the Pats? I have them at 10, but my confidence is shaken. So do you have them at 8?
Sir, the people that work at the edible shop that you frequent will be buying their children very nice Christmas gifts if the Patriots are going to win 10 games this year.
Indubitably.
They have a manageable September and a very favorable October. After that, the schedule gets tough.
And the store is right down the street. It's 5 minutes away. I can put in my online order, go over there, come back in time for cornflakes. I'm good to go. But at least you're pragmatic, but at least you're being realistic about it.
I have to be at this point.
I think the other thing we have to think about is how many week 1 overreactions have there been every single season? I mean, look what happened last year. Gerard fucking Mayo beat the Bengals. We beat the Bengals. And
we were all like, Bella who? Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They'd run through a wall for this guy. They're so tough. He's got it together. And then the team the next week completely. And the guy that led to the tear, things falling apart the next week, Geno Smith. Back in 2021, the team ultimately went to the playoffs. Now, they were paper tigers. But week 1, they should have beat the Dolphins. But Damian Harris fumbled on the 7-yard line with a minute and a half left. By the way, Tua has never lost to the Patriots. This is a stupefying factoid. Tua has never lost to the Patriots.
Fitzy, what I told them, Joe and Mike, before you came on, your second Super Bowl, you lost the first week of the season, 31-0 to the Bills. It was the Lawyer Malloy revenge game.
Mm-hmm.
As bad as things look for the Dolphins, for the Pats after week 1, it's a long season. Everybody's going to forget about week 1 in 2 weeks. So everybody, Dolphins fan, Patriots fan, you got to keep that perspective.
Well, in week 17 of that same season, we went to Buffalo and beat them 31-0.
Back home. We lost up in Buffalo 31-0.
Away and then home at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
When a favorite son safety was cut a week before the season, and people keep trying on the radio to point to that, they cut Lawyer Malloy and then they went to the Super Bowl. Guys, that roster was like me at halftime of Super Bowl 51. Loaded to the gills.
Absolutely.
No, that roster was awesome.
To that point, you also had a bunch of rookies step up. You had Ty Warren, who had a good rookie year. You had Bethel Johnson had a couple return touchdowns, I believe. And you had Asante Samuel almost immediately become an All-Pro. And
but he dropped the pass that would have sealed Super Bowl 42.
I'll never forgive him. I'll never forgive him for that. He talks all this noise about how great he is and how bad the Patriots suck. I'll never forgive him for that. He lost us that Super Bowl.
And he's kind of a D-bag too.
He's got to the Dolphins too, because
he is. His grudge is actually against Belichick. It's not even so much. As we're finding out, as much as we appreciate Belichick for everything he did during the double dynastic run of the New England Patriots, He's looking for different games to play on the playground because the marbles, they're all out of the bag at this point.
Fitzy, what a fall from grace with this guy in our eyes. He was on a pedestal, and then the tail end.
John Lennon and Yoko Ono. I've said it 100 times.
my
This
God.
is literally
the tail end of the franchise. He mismanaged it after Tom left so bad, and now all of his damage reduction is just creating complete chaos, and I just can't even stand the guy.
I work in IT, and we call this technical debt. We have all this technical debt from the Belichick years of terrible drafts. It is what it is. Then, like you said, there's no speed button to it. You can spend all the money you want. You can have a great draft, and guess what? You're going to need like 2 or 3 more drafts and 2 or 3 more great off seasons. Yeah. And Howie Roseman does it the best, and we need to get on that same train.
He is the freaking gold standard. Like, look what the guy does this week. Like, they still have the best roster in football, and what do the Eagles do on their off week when they have a week and a semi-bye coming off the opener on a Thursday? Trade for the best backup running back in the NFL and Tank Bigsby to make sure Saquon Barkley can get spelled and doesn't get run into the ground in his sophomore season.
And they got the DN too. Who they got? Zadarius.
And they signed Zadarius Smith out of nowhere.
Howie's just like flipping through his phone, like, oh yeah, that sounds good. I'll take.
There is your current version of chess over checkers, mother blankers.
They were
the way Howie Roseman is doing it. Meanwhile, they overbid for Parsons, and Jerry Jones is like, yeah, I'm not going to trade him inside the division. No.
Exactly.
But like,
unlike Mara, who was like, please, I'm having palpitations, and they traded Barkley anyway.
We cut a safety that's now starting for the Eagles right now. Marcus Epps. We signed him from the Raiders. We cut him in training camp, and now he got called onto the regular roster.
I could have a Howie Roseman podcast. I swear to God,
like, guy is so good at what he does. That roster is beyond elite at this point. But like what you guys were saying, the way Belichick mishandled things, the whole mantra of Belichick. You know, I know Shula used to always call him Belichick, and if you're not cheating, you ain't treating, you ain't trying, and you hate us because you
Shula was petty.
It was okay. He a legend unto his own right in time, but the game evolved. It passed him by. Then it seems like it has for Belichick as well. But Belichick used to always say, like, do your job. The funny thing was, as the king was going mad and insulating the castle and calling in all of his lieges, he used to honestly just like pour oil on all of them. Like, Bill, Bill asked you one question. Mike Giardi asked you one question. What are you going to kill Callahan and Volan and Kide and everybody? Like, relax. Like, it was kind of sad to see. And also, like, the roster was terrible. Like, there was nothing left. So Vrabel and company and Stretch and Cowden have to restock the pantry for another 2 seasons before you can be like, hey, this team is really ready to rock and roll and keep up with the big boys. Because I think both of us AFC East mofos can agree, Brett. What we saw Sunday night on the field in the finale season of Orchard Park, neither of our teams is touching the Ravens or the Bills anytime soon.
No.
The Dolphins are like, Dolphin fans just want to win this week because we know we're going 1-2. We got the Bills on a short week next week. We know next week.
You don't want to open 0-3. Got you.
Yeah, we don't want to open up 0-3. But just listening, both of our teams are a prime example. In today's NFL, you cannot miss on any drafts. One of the reasons the Dolphins are in the position we're in is when we traded for Tyreek Hill. For 2 years, we didn't have a lot of picks. But so in my mind, when you draft the first 4 rounds, you had to get contributors pretty quick. Year we traded for Tyreek Hill. Our 2 premium picks were Channing Tindall, he's gone. Eric Exakama, he's gone. The next year, we got Devin Achane, and we got Cam Smith. Cam Smith is on the NFI list for non-football injuries. So basically, that's 2 wasted drafts because we didn't get anybody. I was looking at your guys' draft last year, which I personally liked when it happened, and some of this is a little skewed because Jalen Polk's on IR, but you have one player from that draft still on the team a year later, and that's Drake May. And in today's NFL, you can't do that. You can miss on a pick or 2, but all the good teams, they are always finding contributors.
You got to have a 30 to 40% hit rate. I mean, you got to be somewhere in the ballpark of 30%. And
you got to bet like a league leader in hitting. Like, you got to hit on 3 out of 7 or 3 out of 8 or something like that.
Exactly.
And I swear to God, I've interviewed Elliot Wolf a couple times. I've always been cordial. It's gotten to a point now where the next time I see him, I might go at him like freaking Joe Pesci did at Billy Bats in Goodfellas. Like, you traded Lad McConkey, you effer.
Go and get your shine box.
Yeah, go and get your McConkey box, mother effer.
I don't know if they told you. You've been up there for a while. I don't shine shoes no more.
No, I was just breaking balls. Hey, go get your McConkey. Son of a bitch.
I noticed when you talked about Cowden and Vrabel having to build up the next 2 years. So you're on this. We were saying this in the offseason, and people thought we were crazy. We're like, Elliott Wolf has to be the odd man out right now.
Well,
we were saying this early in April, May.
That to him because last year's draft, Belichick didn't have anything to do with it. Elliott Wolf ran that draft, and Vrabel got rid of all of them. So
and he ran that car like Tiger Woods did off the road in LA a couple years ago.
And he has no accountability. Exactly. He has no accountability too. He actually threw Mayo under the bus. He said Mayo's process sucked. He's like the only GM I've ever seen that he'll blame the receivers coach. Oh, he wasn't coached enough. It's like, do you have any account? I've never heard him say, yeah, it was a bad pick. We missed it.
So Cowden is taking.
Never heard him say that.
Cowden is taking that job. Ryan Cowden's taking that.
Oh, yeah. This is the Elliott Wolf swan song the rest of the season. He's trying to polish up that resume. I guarantee you, he leaves a double browser open with LinkedIn and ZipRecruiter on a daily basis because he has
LinkedIn Premium. He is
100%. Yeah, like eventually you'll see his profile photo with the hashtag open to work underneath.
Exactly.
But do you think
who's your guy? Chris Greer? Is that the guy that runs the ship down in Miami Gardens?
Miami. Yeah, Chris Greer.
He's rough.
I'm Chris Greer neutral, but the team, the fan base wants him gone. He went viral last year by saying, you're more worried about the offensive line than we are.
Yikes.
And our offensive line was one of the worst in football last year. So he comes from that Belichick, the Parcells tree. I think he actually got to start in New England before he came to us under Parcells. The issue with Chris Greer is he defers to the coach way too much. When Brian Flores
his dad was Bobby Greer, who was an executive for us for many years.
But yeah, and funny enough, his other son is a GM in hockey with the Sharks.
Weird.
Yeah, but Chris Greer defers the coach. Go back to Brian Flores. We had 3 first-round picks when the tank began. Flores fell in love with Noeg Bahagami from Auburn. I'm a draftnik, and I had no idea who Noeg Bahagami was. And we took him in the first round, and he was
kind of like Kyle Duggar.
That name sounds like a satanic ritual that you say out loud before you open the Book of the Dead.
Yeah, exactly. But
was it Noeg Mahogany?
Noah Egbahagami.
Noah Egbahagami.
Klaatu Barata Nikto.
Yeah. He had one start with the Dolphins. It was when Tua came back from his first concussion a couple years ago against the Steelers, and he got an interception to seal the game against Kenny Pickett. But he got passed by every undrafted player we picked up, and he was a first-round pick. It's like Cam Smith, who I thought was a steal in round 2, and all you hear, Vic Fangio hated him. He's like, he doesn't get the defense. Last year, he was hurt a lot. In the preseason this year, it comes out, he doesn't understand nutrition and keep taking care of his body. He's eating too much McDonald's. And he's on the non-football injured list. He's probably not going to be on the team. And again, he was not only behind Kader Kahu got hurt, but undrafted player. He was behind Storm Duck, undrafted player, got hurt this week. That's just our story. We get hurt all the time with Mike McDaniel. He's behind Ethan Bonner, who's not only undrafted, but a white cornerback. He's behind Jason Marshall, who's a 5th-round corner. He was the 8th string cornerback all offseason. And that's why I said you cannot miss on these premium picks when you do, especially when you don't have a lot. And like I said, I told you beforehand, one of the issues I think against the Colts, we had 3 safeties who were in and out of practice, and one of our cornerbacks who played most of the game, Rasul Douglas, was not on the team a week ago. Did not spend a single snap with us in preseason. And we had which is funny is we actually had a contract offer for him for 3 months that he finally accepted after cuts.
Hold on one second, Brett. Hey, Siri, call my financial advisor. Tell them to put the mortgage on Pat's money line Sunday.
And that's the value of 50 right there.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, this sounds like Bet the House on Drake.
Holy smokes, my God. This was such a sad story. I was expecting like Itzhak Perlman to start playing violin during it. Holy shit.
Well, so to be positive for the Dolphins, I do think a big issue was I think we're going to have a good front seven. We have four premium pass rushers. We have Chop Robinson, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, and Matthew.
Jalen Phillips is a ball player. Chop Robinson has one of the coolest names in NFL history. Brad Chubb may not be what he once was, but I know how enamored Belichick was of him. Good ball player. Jalen Phillips is like he was built at the Jason Taylor factory, like long, lean, and a pass rushing machine. So if the Pats offensive line isn't on their game, all of a sudden the game, boys, that the Patriots should win handily can become messy and turn into a fourth quarter affair if Campbell and Wilson and Bradbury and Onwenu and Old Man Moses are not on their game.
Moses is going to have to check Phillips, and based on last week, he's going to need some help.
It's kind of weird because this matchup seems eerily similar to the Raiders matchup, right? Can anyone still name the Raiders corners and secondary at this point?
Yeah,
nameless people, right? Absolutely nameless people.
Charles
and their defensive line was pretty young and solid. Obviously,
Raheem.
Exactly.
No egg mahogany.
But the point I'm making also
Esperanto McIntyre.
Yeah, but Joe and Mike, I told you this beforehand. I like Anthony Weaver, our defensive coordinator. I think he's going to be an NFL head coach sooner than later. But he did not do a secondary that has no reps together any favors. Oh, we also have your old boy, Fitzy. Jack Jones is our other cornerback.
You can have
oh, my God, Jack Jones and Cole Strange. This is going to be like this back-to-back weeks of perfect strangers, the cringiest of reunions. Holy shit.
But it's a secondary scheme that relies on communication, relies on knowing what you're supposed to do. And we just didn't bringing guns to the airports, then tweeting about how you're not being treated fairly. We've all been there. Hey, is it prediction time yet, boys?
I think it's prediction time. Yeah, let's hear it, Fitzy.
Okay. Pats open up early. They score first this week, unlike last week. No random Geno Smith to Trey Tucker bombs with Jalen Hawkins slipping on the wet turf and blaming God later on. They get the lead. The Dolphins come back at halftime. It seems like once again the Pats should have it, but then in the second half they pull ahead. Final score: Patriots 27, Dolphins 17, and confidence is restored. And all of the overreactionary narratives of the first week, which made my job very easy this week, go away. And then we have to look for new shit to complain about next week.
Of course,
I love it.
Who's up next?
Yeah, what do you got, Brett?
Let's hear it, Brett. Let's hear it.
So I think it's going to go fairly similar where it's going to be back and forth in the first half. If not, the Patriots I'll go ahead and say it. Patriots will be up 10 or 14 points going towards halftime. Now this is Dolphin special under Mike McDaniel for a couple years. It just didn't happen last week. A lot of things didn't happen last week. The Dolphins are going to score before half. So we're going to defer. So you guys are going to get the ball first. Dolphins are going to score before half.
And it's going to be hotter than a dog's mouth outside, and the Pats have to wear their blue uniforms. Yeah,
exactly. And we're going to commit to the run. And Tyreek Hill is going to have not only his first touchdown of the season, he's going to have his first 30-plus yard catch since week 1 last year against Jacksonville. And the Dolphins are going to win 24-21 on a last-second field goal by our reserve. Since Jason Sanders is out for a month, Riley Stevenson.
Yeah, and I'm gonna sue Tyreek for not paying for the baby bills. Get out of here with that prediction.
Well,
and then a car blows up in the parking lot again.
I'll say this: if the Dolphins lose, Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer, and Tua are all gone because we're losing to the Bills. It's going to be 0-3, and if you get to 0-3, you might be able to get something going in the middle of the season because we did last year too. But we're just going to dig ourselves too big of a hole. And at which point it's time to start over. I don't want to lose to it. I think when he's healthy, that's the big win. And I think he is one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL and he's capable of magic. Keeping him healthy has been an issue. And like I said, Mike McDaniel's a guy with a running background, and he refuses to run. And I think that is going to, if anything costs us, that's going to be what costs us.
That'll be his undoing.
It might be. And I appreciate your optimism about Tyreek Hill because I now have him in 2 fantasy
Mike
leagues.
doubled down. I traded him to Mike, and then Mike went to another league and said, "Yeah, you know what? I don't have enough Tyreek."
Mike,
Hill.
why do you keep going to the
more.
same shitty pizza parlor expecting a decent pie? You know what they serve.
It's the definition of insanity. That's what it is.
Honest to God.
Definition of insanity. That's what that
definition
is.
of insanity. That's what the Dolphins are under Mike McDaniel. But the other reason for my optimism as well is I saw Christian Gonzalez didn't practice today, so
he's out.
So Tyreek's favorite cornerback won't be playing him. So get ready for the Alex Austin show, baby.
Yeah,
he played great in week 1. I thought personally.
Yeah, it was Carlton Davis that bid on the Dante Thornton fake. Imagine drafting a fast receiver named Thornton and having him make a play. Hey, who would have thought?
Well, who does a cover 0 all blitz on 3rd and 20? That's what I want to know.
That was the dumbest call. That was the dumbest call. I know who did it
because I was at the in 2019. I was at the Dolphins Steelers game in Pittsburgh, and that is exactly what Brian Flores did. And the Steelers scored a touchdown going into half, and that is when ESPN said the Dolphins should get penalized because they are intentionally tanking.
Yeah.
Wow, that's messed up.
Yeah, that's some effed up ass
All right,
guys.
So I'm going to give my prediction. I've been waffling on it because I try to be pragmatic, but I think it's going to be another sloppy game by both teams, and it's going to depend on the game plan that Josh McDaniels dials up. We'll be able to tell in the first quarter if Drake can handle it or not, because you can see when he starts off, when he's too jacked up, he's sailing all those passes, his accuracy takes a hit. Maybe they simplify it for him a little bit, and he gets enough done to dink and dunk down the field and get a bunch of field goals. I think Miami will score also. I'm putting it at the Patriots 23, Dolphins 21, but I think it could honestly go either way. But I see it around that area right there.
Oh, this sounds like it's going to be tighter than grandma in a scuba suit. I love it.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning a little more towards Fitzy's storyline. So I think they're going to come out. I think this first scripted series is going to work like butter. I think, honestly, they're going to work all the players that we need. We need Trevion in there. We need Gibson. Did Gibson get a touch? I don't even know if he got a touch. It makes me like twitch.
I think he got a kickoff return and then an edible arrangement.
That's it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I think he had a catch.
Yeah, and so you're going to see more mixing in of Gibson. I think you're going to see Trevion more featured. You have to dial up plays to Kyle Williams. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if it's play action. Make him the only read. I really don't care. Get the ball in his hands. The guy's special. I hope Efton Chisholm's active. But so I think the first drive, they're going to come out and they're going to score a touchdown. I think at the half, we're probably looking at a 17-7, 17-6, maybe 2 field goals. And I think at the end of the game, we're going to see 24, probably 17 is my guess. It's going to be close, closer than people think, because like you said, Brett, the Dolphins have a lot to play for. And it's a lot of people's jobs on the lines. And I think Tua is not that bad. I think he played historically bad.
That was the worst. When you consider what we have,
I don't see them doing that. I don't see him going back-to-back terrible games at home where they historically destroy us, right? Not destroy us, but, 7-0. And, it's a tough place for us to play. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think we'll see. And
it is Indianapolis. Indianapolis was built as a city on like an ancient Indian burial ground. So, like, sometimes people have bad experiences there. What are you going to do? It's okay.
Our home.
Take the breakfast ball. Take the mulligan. It's fine.
Have you ever heard of the curse of Tequesta? Because the Dolphins stadium is actually legitimately built on an ancient Indian burial ground. And that is why everybody thinks that the team is cursed, because our stadium is legit on an Indian burial ground.
Wow. No, I never have, but it sounds like
that is a thing.
I'm gonna look that action up on Wikipedia afterwards.
It curses us, I'll tell you that much.
Damn right. It's our freaking Bermuda Triangle. Holy smokes. It would be awesome to see them win Sunday. It just, again, like the season for us, you guys are in self-preservation mode. Totally understandable. For us, this really is just about, like, we just need to know the ship is pointed in the right direction. and that the right captains are aboard the championship, and that it's pointed at least towards a good place again, armed with competent lieutenants, captains, and generals to, restore the pride of the Patriot way. And hopefully Sunday is the first game where we see them play with competence and confidence again. That you can't ask for much more, boys.
I agree. It's a build. You got to build it.
Fitzy, so do you think they have the system in place as far as their coaching staff in order to achieve that?
Oh, yeah. Vrabel's on a long leash, too. Don't worry about him getting Mayo-fied at the end of the year. If Robert's like, God damn it, Jonathan, I told you we should have gotten Ben Johnson. What are they? The Bears are 5-12. Never mind. Give me 2 more fingers of scotch. No. No. They have the right system. No, they do. It's just going to take time.
Do you have any?
Belichick struck gold because he got, Tom Brady in year 2. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, that's the unicorn. That's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That doesn't happen all the time.
Do you happen to have an opinion about Vrabel's handling of the roster, specifically the bottom end of the roster, cutting all these guys?
It's a little reactionary. He seems to be a little quick on the draw. And he also went through 4 offensive coordinators in 5.5 years in Tennessee. I know one left because he got promoted to HC of the Atlanta Falcons, but he's going to need somebody to succeed so he can settle in a little bit. Otherwise we could see some more rash movement right now. But, again, the car has a lot of leaks and a lot of dents and a lot of parts that need repairing. You can't fix them all at once. Like Brett said earlier, in the first hour of this 19-hour love affair of football, when he said, Tua is the type of guy, if you're down 17, he doesn't just take the profit and try to eke his way back into it, because you can only score 1 point at a time, or 3 or 7. He tries to get the whole thing back. There's no such thing as a 7-run home run. You have to just take, it's like Dr. Leo Marvin said back in What About Bob? Baby steps. That's what it's all about.
Now, I will say this from the Dolphins side, there were a lot of people happy last year when you hired Mayo over Mike Vrabel. I was convinced you guys were getting Vrabel last year. There's a lot of nervous fans in Miami that you guys have Vrabel. So I think he's good. I think you guys are going to have a very good future with him. And even as a JJ McCarthy homer, I think Drake May was the pick. And I love JJ. He's the greatest in terms of Michigan. He's the greatest quarterback at my college team ever. But Drake May was talented. I honestly probably would have taken him number 1 over Caleb.
So would all Bears fans.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. He's making Ben Johnson look like
and
I don't even know.
I think you're taking Jaden Daniels over all of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I forgot about Jaden Daniels.
Oh, damn, he's so good.
Well, Fitzy, thank you so much.
Daniels is also 30, so but that said, good point, Mike. Yeah, I got to skate. Otherwise, I'm going to end up at Bed Bath & Beyond, divorce court, or both. So
I appreciate it so much, Fitzy. Thank you so much for joining. Brett, thank you so much for joining. I've been tuning into the Fins pod. Really appreciate everything you guys do. It's a great show. And Fitzy, 6 Rings. I'll always tune.
Love having you in the chat, buddy. You're welcome anytime. Mike, get your ass in there. Brett,
I'm bad. He does the social media stuff. I'm bad at it, but I'm getting better. I'm learning. At least the desire is there.
He's like cool. A 70-year-old Italian man.
I was just gonna say, like, do I need to send you like an AOL Platinum CD so you can download the latest dial-up? You got a net zero? Do you have a GeoCities yet? You son of a bitch.
I have an AARP account.
As my dad used to say, get off that online.
Yeah, so I'm.
This has been fun, boys. Thanks for having me. Glad to finally do it.
Staying so long, I appreciate it.
LFG boys, let's go.
Let's go. See you,
fellas. Awesome.